Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Trading Brains. I'm your host, Evan Greif, here with my co-host, Angelo Messina. Hello, everybody. It's been a while. It's been a while, right?
Yeah.
Maybe. Well, it feels like it's been a while. With this whole world, as crazy as it is right now, with the 24-hour news cycle, always new stuff coming out. But anyway, I digress. You, we're back, and today we want to talk about video games again. We're going to talk about a specific game that we're excited to uh, see come out and actually play and try out. It's called Ghost of Tsushima. You probably heard about it if you're like into video games and you know about console exclusives, because I'm pretty sure this one's like exclusive to the PS4.
Just for PlayStation. Yep.
Yeah. So, uh, yeah, I mean, what have you heard about this game, Angelo?
Oh, comes out from July 17th. Just PlayStation exclusive.
Okay.
It takes place in the 1200s, the late 13th centuries, and
Okay, so that's the Kamakura period?
yes,
All right. Huh.
and this is when like the Mongols is invading.
Yeah.
Um,
Like Western Japan, I guess.
yeah, and this is right before it goes into the mainland. Like this island, that Tsushima Islands, it's right before the mainland. So, which I like the historical stuff because this game really like captured the view of the scenery, the mountains, like everything you could talk about. Even like nice little touch by photo mode, and you could basically like edit however you want it. In the
Yeah.
sense, like you could have the wind blow into your face as well, leaves or ashes, snow, fireflies coming
Yeah.
through pictures to take that perfect picture moment.
Yeah. One of the cooler things I thought was the grainy kind of black and white film thing that you could do that makes it look really like a samurai film. And there's also a Japanese audio track, so like you're literally playing a samurai film. I mean, if you don't mind having subtitles, then of course. But
Well, anyone who's in America that is going to play this game that doesn't know Japan, use subtitles,
yeah,
please. At
yeah.
least you understand what's going on if they're going to make.
Exactly. And like in the same line of thinking where, you want to kind of enter that world or like, explore what that setting, that time and that place of Japan would look like and feel like. Um, I would also say that, the clothing itself, the charms that you get, like those are like typical of Japanese culture. You have these like charms, they call them omomoris. And it's like if you want to score well on a test, like you'll get one, or if you want to have good health or fertility or whatever, I mean, it's a lot of religious type stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, they have that, and they have shrines, and for me, living in Japan, as you guys, all listeners know, I've been here for about 4 years now, and on the mountains I've hiked and the shrines I've been to, a lot of it is very, very well represented, I think, by the game. Like just the scenery and all of that. So that was really cool to see too. I think the quality is really good. I'm hoping my PS4 does well enough because I have one of the original. I have literally the first model, like the first gen of PlayStation 4. So, we'll see.
Finger cross.
Yeah, fingers crossed for sure. But yeah, this game just looked beautiful. Like when I was looking at some of the trailers or even like the gameplay reveal, just I was blown away. And actually, I had my wife Maya look at the video, and she was like, "Oh my God, like is this a movie?" Like I was like, "No, it's a game." And she's like, "What? Really? Like it looks pretty real, right?" So that just is a testament to how quality the game is. And I think Sucker Punch. Again, the game isn't out yet, so we can't really say. We haven't played it ourselves, but I'm excited for this to be a good game. It's looking like it's going to be a really good game.
And anyone knows like Suckerpunch, they made a couple of games. They made about 3 games before this one. Their first one was actually Rocket, the robot on wheels. That was in 1999. But I think their breakthrough in the PlayStation world was with Sly Cooper in 2002, and that's from 2002 to 2005, and that was a big hit. I remember playing Sly Cooper when I was little when PlayStation 2. What about you? I've been like,
We're talking about Sly Cooper, right?
yeah.
I was just Googling Rocket on Wheels. I never heard of it, but it got good reviews. Sly Cooper, man, yeah, hell yeah. Like, such a good game. The quality of the platforming, right?
Mm-hmm.
The stealth aspect, right? Understanding patterns, how certain, patrols move and puzzles too. Like, it was just, and it was just a goofy game too, which made it a lot of fun. I really liked the multiplayer. And again, we're getting into Sly Cooper, but I'm just saying, like,
But just
it was
this
they
is
made
important
all the
because
game.
who developed the game.
Exactly. Yeah, Suckerpunch. They did.
And they also made Infamous, and that
Yes,
was
the series.
from 2009 to 2014, and that was a big hit. If you guys played it, I know I played it when it was on PlayStation 4 for a bit for the Second Son,
Yeah. Second
and
Son was really good. I think that was a great package deal because I bought my PS4 with Second Son as like a bundle or whatever. Yeah, and that was a really good bundle, I think.
that's why. And to create this new game that our episode's about, I'm actually really excited for it because like when I was watching the gameplay, I was watching a couple. It kind of brought me back to Assassin's Creed and like going through riding your horses through the fields, picking up branches, anything that I could pick up, flowers to customize my armor set, or like that kind of brought me back. And a nice like touch that I really give Suckerpunch kudos was instead of having waypoints or like kind of like markers saying like, hey, you need to go here. It kind of like they have a nice little attribute with the wind and kind of connects you with nature in the game. And it's kind of like just listen to the wind blow, or you'll see the wind motions that's blowing to a certain direction, and you will follow that direction. And I thought that was actually a really nice touch because like that brought you to nature, like that the whole iconic trying to bring into the scenery throughout the game was, I think it was a just masterpiece in that sense. I really.
It absolutely accentuates the explorational aspect, or if that's a word. Yeah, the exploration of the game, right? It's like you don't have, hey, you have to go this way to accomplish this mission specifically. It's like, okay, well, the Mongols are here, and you just have to go and like dismantle them, go to certain villages, save people, whatever. And like you can see smokestacks and animals will guide you to certain locations, and it's very free flowing in that sense, like you said. I would say also it reminded me of Assassin's Creed in a similar vein where, like, I'm pretty sure you could throw like rocks or something to distract guards, right? Like in Tsushima, you can throw smoke bombs, you can throw firecrackers, which is really cool. So the firecrackers part, I think that was also similar to Sly Cooper, and where like you could throw something somewhere and then a guard would go look at it, check it out, and you can sneak past them. Or in Tsushima's case, you just assassinate them.
Yeah.
And then like if you see the gameplay trailer, he actually assassinates one guy and then goes on to assassinate the next guy right next to him before he like has a chance to warn his friend. Yeah, the chain assassinations, and that reminded me of Far Cry because you could actually do that in Far Cry as well.
They had that in Assassin's Creed as well.
Was that in 2 and on, or
2 and on? But
well,
they got rid of it after.
I think in 1 you could do like side by side, or that was with Ezio. That was with Assassin's Creed 2. Yeah. Gotcha. But I know what you mean, where Tsushima reminds you of the original, like the beginning. Well,
also, like
because the Assassin's Creed now are like the Assassin's Creed games now are so different. There's like naval warfare and like fighting hippos and like all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. Without it was just simple. You're on a horse, and you're just running through the plains and killing, and even like the counter. And there was another video that I watched as well that they were Japanese samurai, they understood they studied the art of the katana, like the samurai ways, and when they were watching this game, they were like, they really did like how they portray the fighting style. Like, yeah, you're gonna get every single like nick and cranny of it, but he's like overall it was the sheet, how he would draw on the blade, how like the diagonals of where he's slashing the opponents, the clean cuts that they were getting, they really portrayed that in the game.
Mm.
And I feel like that was also like a nice stamp of approval from like actual people who actually study the arts. Because it's not like you can find a samurai walking around in the middle of the game.
Show us some moves, like wear this green suit.
Your move. No.
Yeah.
So and like it's very gory as well. So like, you see a lot of like the blood splattering around. You like as you're like before you put you shoot your katana away, like you could just like not wipe off, but like kind of like a little flick of the wrist, and the you'll see the blood come off of the blade right before you put it back into the sheath. And I think that was pretty cool. It's just like like what is this dirt? Like this is out of here. I don't want this.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to bring wear and tear to the blade, because if you just leave blood on it, like it's not good for the blade. So, yeah.
And one thing I do want to add after was, since he is by himself and he wants to bring, so you could play as basically Jin, which is the main character, and the dishonorable ghost. So, and it was not like, ooh, spooky, like a ghost. You see like Casper the Ghost coming around. No, like you actually like just put on a mask and you kind of be a little bit more stealthy and using any sort of distraction to kill and not kill them the honorable way, because back then the Mongols were trying to take over Japan during that time.
Yeah.
And trying to just become basically a rogue samurai and just trying to do as much as he can to stop it.
Yeah. So like, I mean, it's not like you're the ghost from Animal Crossing, but you're like, you're more of like, an assassin, and you're using guerrilla warfare and just like distraction and disorienting your enemy. And you're right. Back in those days with the samurai code, the way Jin was taught by his teacher was like, you have to like fight face to face in a duel, like, everything's like equal, whatever. So
like with him and then also you could strike fear as well. Like as you're killing all these Mongols, you see another, like the first class Mongol that are looking. It's like, I don't want to fight you. I'm going to start running away because now he's scared to die because on the fear that you in place and the gore that's what's going on, that you are killing right in front of him. And as you grow during the game, like your legend of the goat instills into those Mongols, so they start running away or they get scared before they start hesitating attacking you.
Yeah. That's also something I was curious about, like, because we saw in the gameplay video that there was one guy who just like gave up. He was like, oh my god, I'm so scared.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering, like, at what point, what affects that, right? So is it the speed with which you dispatch enemies? Is it the like goriness of how you get rid of them? Is it, what, like, I wonder. I'm saying in game, right? How the game
like the moment that the algorithm that they in place to see that. Yeah. I think it's more complex than the moment the sword goes into a body, just clicks into the next computer or next AI to see it. I think it's more like as you grow. Like I think when you were playing, like the first time you're trying to assess, like playing as the ghost part, I feel like you have to kill. Let's just say there's 10 of them. You have to kill all 10 of them.
Yeah.
Well, the next, as you go future on, like playing throughout the gameplay, I feel like then you could kill the 9 out of the 10, and that one starts going away as the game progresses.
Right.
And it's just like as the game progresses, it's like, oh, what happened over here? It's like, well, our scouts said it was burned down. By who? Rumor says the ghost. The ghost. What's the ghost? Who's the ghost? What?
If you kill all 10, though, it's funny because like you gain legend, right, from like destroying these Mongol camps and defeating them. But if you like murder everybody there, then like how does anybody know what happened? Or I guess it just becomes a legend, right? It's like some vengeful spirit just came in and messed them all.
Back then there was no cameras so it was stories. So if one person saw that ship or village was burned down, who did it? Oh, it was a ghost.
Yeah.
And I feel like back in that era in Japan, like spirits was more of a like believable
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
concept that
Yeah.
people believe. Oh, it was spirits. That's it, and they could say whatever from this shrine over here, or this spirit, vengeful spirit, was in the ancient forest of
Yeah.
Tsushima, and if you go alone at this time at full moon, none will like everyone will die. So I feel like that was a very nice touch as well of bringing like historical, cultural stuff as well. Like people who just believe that during that time it was easier to believe because since we don't have cameras
Yeah.
or video cameras back then, it was
Mhm.
hard to see who was a culprit, who did this. Fun fact, which was really cool. I don't know if you ever watched Night in the Night in the Museum.
I did. Yeah.
Not Ben
Ben
Stiller.
Stiller.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
The guy who played Attila the Hun, he is the Khotan Khan, the general in the game as the antagonist.
Yeah. Yeah. I knew I recognized his face. I was like, this guy. He's also in a TV show that I know. Um, Glee.
Yes.
He's in Glee.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's crazy. Huh. He's the gym teacher in Glee. Anyway. Yeah, so he's in the game. He's in Ghost of Tsushima.
Fun fact that when I was doing some research on that, I saw like, wait, when I was watching the gameplay as well, it's just like that looks really like similar. Like, who is he? And little research.
Yes, like I know that guy. But
Patrick Gallagher,
yeah.
and
Hmm.
he plays Attila the Hun in the night of the museum in the Estonian Museum. So I really did like the characters that they have, the pictures. And what else do you think? Like besides like the customization, like you could change your whole appearance by getting the dyes. If you want to look
Yeah,
cool, and
that's
look
not,
at the part as like the samurai with full red armor, full blue armor, or you want to just dress as like a wanderer. Um,
well, like that's also I thought was really cool because I think a lot of games are doing that now too, which is like you have the technical aspects of the armor, right? So you improve certain abilities or it's geared towards a certain play style, but then with the die, you can actually just change it up and customize it to the way you want it to look instead of being like, okay, there's a set armor piece and you can't change it and like you have to wear that if you want these buffs or if you want
yeah.
these abilities, right? So I was happy to see that in the game as well. Um,
Yeah, and then the why I just drawn a blank.
yeah, right there, Angelo. I mean I have something if
Yeah, go.
yeah. Um yeah, I mean I'm kind of drawing a blank too, so aren't you enjoying this, fans? Aren't you enjoying this?
No, but like
Oh,
it was
I got it. I remember. Do you have it? Do you have
no.
it? No? Okay. I remember mine, and then maybe as I'm going through mine, you can jog your memory. So another thing I'm excited about this game is that Sucker Punch with Infamous and specifically Infamous Second Son, which is one of the ones I played mostly. That map was huge. Like the map for the game was gigantic. It was like kind of like Prototype or like Spider-Man 2, probably even bigger than those. But the map for Ghost of Tsushima, they're saying, is like way larger. And the map that you see in the gameplay video is just like a portion of
Yeah,
the full map of the island, right? So, and they're saying not only is it like map wise larger than Infamous, but also content wise, right? Because you have side quests and like these interesting characters that you might come upon, and obviously exploring the world itself. Um, and so that is really exciting for me because to be honest, like gaming nowadays, it's really hard to find a game that has high replayability and just kind of like long lasting content that isn't like that isn't going to charge you a lot, right? Like so games like I don't know, Monster Hunter, for example, like that game, I think is completely worth the price tag that they put on it because there's just you can just play it so many different ways, and it's very replayable and enjoyable in that way. But with Ghost of Tsushima, there's another thing which is you saw like you could have duels with like certain master swordsmen or whatever, and I think like regardless of the fact that they're in the 1200s and Kamakura period, they may actually have like swordsmen of legend in like Japanese samurai legend in the game that, for you to duel, which is so cool. You know, like that's
kind of
so
like the
like
ultimate test of your dualship and your skills of like honing your technique.
Yeah.
Yeah. So actually, you did brought up what I wanted to say with the content. So like people like the main story is short, but compared to everything else, is about 40 to 50 hours of gameplay with all the side quests, you go roaming around, getting the gut dive. You want to do all the achievements if you are the achievement hunters out there, as well as it's about 40 to 50 hours of content play. And also another thing that how they compact it in just about 50 gigabytes. And like 50 gigabytes, that's a lot, but like we have played games with all these DLCs that adds on another 25 gigs for a small section, or Call of Duty. Everyone play Call of Duty. Each update is another 20 G that comes out to 100 gigabytes just for a free beta game, and as well as like Final Fantasy VII the remake, that's 100 gigabytes just for the first disc of the original Final Fantasy VII, or as well as the Infamous Sons. Like it's how I do enjoy that. Like the 50 gig is going to be a nice little sliver of compared to your other games. So space, you shouldn't be worrying about as much. But if you are still worrying about space, making an investment and get an external hard drive and add it on top of it to your PlayStation. I did that with 2 terabytes, and I'm not having issues just yet. And I added that 2 years ago. But as time goes on, you can delete games and whatever, so you can manage it a little bit better.
That's a good idea because when I bought my PS4, it was the first edition, like I mentioned earlier, and that was I think 500 gigabytes. I'm not even sure. Like it was some small amount, right? So I have a limited number of games available for me to play at any given time, which is annoying because I can't just like pick up a game that I want to play right away. I have to download the content. So I'm also considering using an external hard drive as well. I mean, I have one readily available for it because I recently emptied it. But yeah, I think it's great that Tsushima is not only a really high quality game in terms of the graphics and the gameplay itself and how large it is, but the size in terms of like file size is really small. I think it's just super impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have like legit. It's one of the games with like the PlayStation exclusive that gives me like something to look forward to. Even though I made up about $100 since the sales not too long ago about buying all these other games like Destiny, the Shadowkeep, Monster Hunter Iceborne, Battlefront 2, that was free, thank God, and For Honor, and with the new DLCs and respectfully DLCs. But now, this is actually a more single player. I do want to see if it has some multiplayer content as well. That would be a nice little touch to play and kind of like defend the island together or doing like co-op missions. But I can see it just being strictly single player, which is also I'm totally fine with because I do want to play just for myself.
Yeah, I think it would. I mean, it'd be cool to have multiplayer, but if we're looking at like how Sucker Punch has made its games up till now, like Infamous didn't have a multiplayer, and Sly Cooper had a multiplayer mode, but I think it's more like Infamous, and there isn't really another character unless you can play as like the woman who's in one of those scenes.
I think she's like additional like your companion that helps you out.
Yeah.
I know there's chances that you can play as other people, but it's not as. I think it's like very small.
It's not a deal breaker, No,
like, that's not a deal breaker.
Yeah.
It's just a nice if it does have multiplayer, it'll be just a nice little touch. But
yeah.
I have nothing else. I'm all.
All
I'm
time.
just excited. I'm just excited about this game.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, it looks really good, and it's been a while since there's been such an exciting game, but also one that I don't think is going to disappoint. Like there's been a lot of games for the past year or so where I'm just like, I mean, all the reviewers and everybody says it's going to be such a great game, and then it turns out to be like decent to a flop. So um, I'm also very excited for it, but I have nothing else to say. I think we covered pretty much all of it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Um,
Well, anyway, listen, guys, you can catch us, guys and gals, you can catch us at tradingbrainspodcast@gmail.com. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, wherever you want to reach us, you can. Just, search at Trading Brains. We should be the first hit. And again, we're going to be doing this show every 2 weeks, and we're going to be playing games in the interim. I think on a previous episode I mentioned that my PS4 was busted, but I got a new HDMI cable, so that got fixed, and I bought PSN again, so Angela and I are going to be able to play on the weekends, doing some streaming. Yeah.
Whatever it could be, this new game that's going to be coming out next month in July 17th.
Yeah.
Or as well as other games like Destiny, Call of Duty, Monster Hunter, as well as other games that we do like to play as. So,
yeah. Do you want to try streaming on like Facebook or some other platform besides
live videos? Yeah, we could stream on our page as well.
Yeah,
exactly. we will talk about more about what we want to do, but that I think will be a nice touch to see our followers to play with us and talk with us as we're going live with that.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, listeners, thanks for holding out this long and listening to us blab on about a game. But we're really excited for it, and we hope you are too. And we're gonna get the game and let you know how we feel about it in another episode or while we're playing it, in fact. And let us know in the comments, what you think about this game. Are you excited for it? What are the more kind of interesting parts of it that you're looking forward to? Anyway, that's all from us. We'll catch you again in 2 weeks. Thanks for listening, and bye-bye.
Have a nice day, guys.
Yeah. Have a nice day. Well, now you know when we're recording it. Bye-bye.